Well, good evening, everybody. This is Dave coming to you from the Wyoming house. It's time for our Wednesday night fireside chat. Pretty much the only pipe I smoke here is my Wyoming Meerschaum. I love this thing, and partially due to laziness and partially due to I love it, I have stuck with Boswell's Premium Burley. The two cellars I have really are quite different. The cellar in the paddock is probably 5 or 10 times larger than the one here. And I tend to purchase the tobaccos over the last year, almost year and a half now, very differently. I fell in love with different blends and wanted to try different blends in the two different places. So the cellar I have here is actually not only much smaller, but stocked with much different tobaccos. So here in Wyoming, the Premium Burley is absolutely one of my favorites. I do love it. I certainly don't mind repeating it. And for my monthly summaries, I'm trying to cut down on the number of blends that I am smoking in any one month. I'm drinking something a little bit different tonight. I'm drinking Topo Chico. Although I can buy it in Maryland sometimes, it's a big part of the culture here. The Central American people, the Mexicans play a huge role in this economy. They have since the time of Wyoming being a territory. So I finished reading the book Centennial last year when I was here, and it talks about really all the way back to the beginning of Wyoming. James missionary books go back to the glacial ages and stuff like that. But as soon as man began to populate Wyoming, Mexicans in general played a huge role, and that comes all the way to today. All the grocery stores have, I guess they call it a Mexican or Spanish aisle. Most of the workers are Spanish, and they have their own culture here. They have their own community here. It's not like back home in Maryland where a lot of the people who do the work, the lawn work, are Spanish. But I don't know if they have a big community or not. But here they've been here for hundreds of years, so they really are part of the community. But they are also stand apart a little bit, I think, of their own choice. I don't think they have any desire to assimilate. They maintain their own language. They maintain their own music. They maintain their own restaurants. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's just much different here versus in Maryland. So Topo Chico, it's a great drink. It's just sparkled water, but it's super, super sparkled, and it tastes really good. It's a nice addition to a pipe. So today was kind of funny. Today was the day I had my stud tires swapped off for my all seasons. I run them for the next 6 months, and then late October, early November, I'll have the studs put on. And I have some videos for you of today. I had to fight my way through a full-on raging blizzard to get to my tire appointment. And boy, don't you feel stupid driving through a blizzard to get to the appointment to take your stud tires off. But it worked out. It snowed all day. It was only supposed to snow for about an hour, but it ended up snowing about 8 or 9 hours. And we got probably a foot of snow out here, less in town, but we're 1,000 feet higher than Jackson Hole in 35 miles north, and much more in the mountains. So it's always much snowier here, and it stays on the ground much longer than in town. But we made it home. That Ford Expedition's 4-wheel drive. So you just put it in 4 and work your way through it. Not a big deal. Most of the road was bare and wet, but the last couple miles were a little treacherous. But we did it. So that was the best part of the day, and I'm going to show you some snow videos. Look at this. I just entered the park. Still about 4 miles from the house. So for at least it's not sticking on the pavement. Starting to stick on the roads. Killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Look at this. Full-blown winter storm. This is how I know God loves me but hates me with a sense of humor. And here it is off Sean's deck. It is quite beautiful. It does seem to set us back a bit, though. The ranger said it's fun to play in. So the bad part about snow or tire day is Ranger can't come with me. So I have to leave him home. It's about the only thing I leave him home for. He goes with me absolutely everywhere else. But the truck is in. I hand the truck off at 7:30 in the morning. They didn't give it back to me till 11:30. So I had 4 hours to kill in town. So and I can't have Ranger. Anything within walking distance of the tire shop isn't really too dog friendly. There's a Starbucks inside of a Target and a couple little stores, but that's really it, not dog friendly. So he was not very happy with me when I got home. Got back home about 12:30, and we ended up going back down into town. We left about 2 o'clock, and we went down to the tobacco lounge, and there we had a whole great group of guys. It was really fun. And Mike, we call him Smiling Mike, he brought his that Burmese mountain dog came back into the shop and gave Ranger another play day. So I guess Oliver had so much fun that he was kind of insisting to go back to the shop. So it was pretty cool. So the dogs had a great time, great conversation. I smoked a couple of Olmecs, the Maduro and the double, fantastic sticks. And gosh, I bet you were down there 3.5 hours today. Just a great day. Fantastic. So I wear the hat quite a bit while I'm here. It's become my favorite hat. It's replaced my Mountain Man hat. So I wear it pretty much every day when I go downtown. And I have pretty basic work cowboy boots. They've got the square toe instead of the pointed toe. That's that's the mark of a true worker out here, is someone who wears square-toed work boots instead of fancy cowboy boots. And the reason I do it, one, I love it. I love the hat. I love the boots. They feel good. I forget I even have it on. And the boots are super comfortable, so I just love wearing them. But a big part of the reason I started wearing them and the reason I continue to wear them is it's part of the heritage out here. And it's part of the heritage that's dying. There are fewer and fewer true working ranches. There are no farms out here just due to the severity of the winter. So I feel like I am connecting to a longer legacy and a legacy that built this place. And it's something I feel that should be preserved. So I think for those of us who live here and actually work a property and take care of our own, and if you kind of got that independent cowboy spirit, I think it's incumbent upon us to wear some of the traditional clothing, the cowboy shirt, this thing snaps, and the hat, the boots, and working jeans, and just kind of look the part. The people in town respect it. I get so many comments about how good it looks. And I think most people who've lived here for years realize that it's dying. So there's a few of us that wear it every day. So it's pretty fun. But it's a great segue into what I want to talk with you tonight about. And that's, why did I pick up cigar smoking and then pipe smoking last year? So 20, 30 years ago, I smoked cigars, but they were the kind of cigars you bought them cheap and you'd take them to the golf course. And when you were teeing off, you'd throw them on the ground and tee off and then pick it back up. And you wouldn't do that with some of the nicer sticks that we have today. And then I gave it up probably for I probably smoked for 10 or 15 years on the golf course. And that was the only place I smoked. And then I gave it up for, gosh, another 15 or 20 years until last January is when I picked up the cigars for the first time in that length of time. So just want to talk a little bit about why, and don't mean to offend anybody. And what I'm going to say in the next segment is really me. It's why I pick it up, what's important to it about me. I think some people will hear it and say, well, I don't believe that, and you get offended by it, right? And it's not meant to be that way. It's meant to be. I asked you guys to explain to us, not many of you've picked that mantle up either, by the way, but why is a pipe important to you, or why are cigars and pipes important to you? And what does it mean to you to be part of the YTPC? And what does it mean to be a pipe smoker, cigar smoker to you? So what I'm going to do over the next segment is I'm going to answer that question from inside of me for me. My answers aren't meant to be teaching. My answers aren't meant to be judgmental or critical. So if anything I say stings you, please review why it's happening, what's happening inside you for why this stings or offends you, because that's not the intent. I'm explaining why I do it and what's important to me. It's not judgment. It's not teaching. It's not meant to be. You should also pick these reasonings up as your own. The other thing I'll say about them is they're not all original thought. A lot of them I keep referring to that Why I Smoke Cigars video from Dwayne over at Dry Creek Wrangler School. It's a fantastic video, and it really struck me. And that video is what got me to pick it up and start it. And then watching his videos, he did a joint video with Dr. Alan Haraldson at Pipe Cottage, and some of the things he said sunk in with me. So some of the things I'm going to say you would hear directly from Dwayne, you hear directly from Alan, but they do resonate in me. So I'm giving them as my answers, but I also want you to know this is not all original thought. A lot of it came from those two guys. So part of the reason that I picked up cigars again and then transitioned also into pipes is because I feel it connects me, much like the hat, the shirt, the boots, connect me to a legacy of what built this place that I love being in. I feel that picking up a cigar, picking up a pipe connects me to a long legacy. There's so much history in smoking pipes and cigars. I just wanted to connect to something that was old, had a legacy, had a history, had a reason for why it existed. I wanted to connect to that. I felt that was something important to me. I think it's got a place in history. The Capitol building in Annapolis, Maryland, is built on property purchased by bales of tobacco leaves. So the state I live in has a huge history. Now they want to abandon it and they want to forget all that. And there's not too much I can do if a state government wants to erase some of its own history. But I'd like to stand up in front of that wave and just state that I'm part of it and I support it. I think it's important and I think it's still a great thing. The second reason is I think it connects me to something that defines you as a man. You know, it's one of those planks in my beliefs that may not be in yours. And I know there are several women in the community, several on this channel, and some that might even be watching this video. Got no comment on you being a woman choosing to smoke a pipe. I don't care. But inside of me, when I pick up a pipe and smoke it, it helps me cement being a man, in particular a man of legacy. And I like that. Um, those are probably the two biggest planks in my belief. I have others, but the two biggest reasons was I wanted to be part of a legacy. I want to carry it forward. Certainly on the pipe side, it's been a dying thing for decades, probably since the 50s. It's declined every decade since then. It might be on the rise now. I don't know if the evidence would support that or not, but we can talk about it from the tobacco, from the cigar side though as well. Part of the reason I pick up a cigar is it's social. I don't pick up a pipe because it's social, but I do pick up a cigar because it's a social thing, particularly when I'm in a club. One, I'm paying the rent. I don't go in there and just like bring my own stuff. I actually buy cigars from the lounge, pay my rent, you know, and it's social. I've made probably 20 friends or better in the last year and a half, just from going into the lounge and sitting down and having a nice cigar and a great chat with the guys. I do like that. For the pipe, it's almost the opposite. I pick up a pipe because it calms me down, it slows me down. I'm in a different headspace when I'm smoking my pipe. So that goes into some other things that I consider not part of smoking a pipe for me. I don't wedge it into the day. I don't, it's not something I do while I'm doing something else. Most of the time I'm sitting down, being quiet, being contemplative, thinking about myself, my life, my decisions, those things that are coming facing me, things that are coming in my future. Um, Smoking my pipe is my quiet thinking time. Now, like now I'm smoking it while I'm making a video. So it's about the only time I multitask with a pipe. And, you know, I really do it just so that these videos have some tie back to our pipe legacy, our pipe and tobacco heritage in the ITPC. And one thing I hope for you guys that wedge it into your day, or it's a constant companion while you do something else, I would just suggest that at least once a week, carve 30, 45, or 60 minutes, preferably 60 minutes, where it's what you're doing is smoking a pipe and thinking about your life. You're not doing anything else. You're not checking emails. You're not watching videos. You're not making videos. You're not scripting your video. You're not mowing your lawn. You're not doing lawn work. You're sitting quietly, like 2 a.m. pipe on the patio. Kind of how he does it. He films it really well or records it really well. Um, so it's not judgment. It's just a suggestion. If your pipe is always a companion while you're doing something else, try to give yourself the gift of 1 hour a week. I would suggest 1 hour a day, but 1 hour a week as a minimum, where your pipe is what you're doing and it helps you calm down, slow down, and think about things. That may not be possible for everybody, but I would suggest you could find 1 hour at some point in the week. Hopefully we as a group can save pipe smoking and make sure that it does increase. You know, that we show it's okay, that we're good ambassadors of the pipe community. that we can attract others to it. I mean, many of you have given testimony in your own videos about how if you smoke in public, people even ask, like, what is that? They don't even know what a pipe is anymore. You know, that's probably 2 generations back. And then when you tell them, people even say, oh my gosh, I mean, it smells so good. That reminds me of my grandfather, right? Not my dad, not my boyfriend, not my brother, but my grandfather. And there's a reason for that. It's something that's leaving our culture. It's being squeezed out of our culture, right? Most places don't support pipe smoking. Many places in public, there are cities where you can't smoke in the city limits. You can't smoke on the street. And there's a lot of places in the US and around the world you can't do it anymore. And so I think the last reason for me that I love smoking a pipe, it's a little bit of a middle finger to the society that's trying to squeeze and influence and drive and get everybody switched to marijuana, right? Switch to drugs, right? Tobacco's illegal, but marijuana is legal. Tobacco is becoming harder to find and harder to find a place to smoke in. And marijuana is, in all its forms, is getting more and more popular and more legal and more accepted. I mean, I think someone would actually get on us for smoking a pipe in public long before they got on somebody smoking a joint or, however else you consume marijuana in the public space. So to me, that's part of my personality. I don't like being pushed or squeezed. And I hate to see a major legacy in the United States get squeezed out of it. So that's part of why I do it as well. And then the very last reason is it tastes good. It feels good. I like holding the pipe in my hand. I like the heat in the bowl. I like the taste of the smoke. I like the smell of I like the tin note. I like the room note. So guys, that's really it. That is why I chose to pick these things up. It's why I continue to choose to consume tobacco products, really just pipe and cigars in private and public forums. I love being connected to that legacy. I love it defining me as being part of a man, and I love that pushback against society saying that we should get rid of it. So I think the last thing I want to talk about is cigars. So I got to meet the Fuente rep for the Rocky Mountain Sales District a couple days ago in the shop. He came in and spent all day there, so we just sat and talked with him for several hours. And cigar smoking is on the rise, but it is nowhere near its heyday. I mean, sometimes I feel like we think in here that cigar smoking is at its apex. It's growing ever larger, and it is in fact growing. But its heyday was 30 years ago, back when Arnold was on the cover of Aficionado magazine. So that's what all the reps tell us. So as we're nowhere near those kind of sales numbers or sales figures or acceptance in the United States anymore. But this year's better than last year, and last year is better than the year before. So it is on the rise, but nowhere near its old heyday. So I just want to make sure that you hear what the industry reps tell me. I guess that's it. That's the end of my conversation about why I pick these two things up pretty much every day. So tomorrow we will talk about my answers for what I think it means to be part of our Team Freedom. I don't care if you consider it YTPC Team Freedom or just Team Freedom in a larger sense. That's up to you. Not suggesting which one you take. For me, it's a much larger purpose and a much larger reason that encompasses the YTPC. But for me, Team Freedom goes far, far beyond that. I've written out my explanation. It's far longer than tonight's. So we'll do that as a standalone video tomorrow night. And then I've written up the third one, which is my personal answers to the questions. Why do we need firearms? Why do you guys need them? What's the purpose? So I'll reiterate those questions on, like I said, it'll be Friday night. So it'll be interesting because I'll do a Freedom Red Flannel Freedom Friday vid on Friday. I'll probably do an armory summary of what I have here. And then my second video of the day will be my answer to what, why are these things needed in today's world? That's fairly emotional for me. It's fairly driven deep inside me. Both tomorrow night's video will have what I think some of you will consider judgmental and challenging and condescending reasonings. I think something will trip inside of you. And again, I'll ask you tomorrow night to do the same thing. Ask why it's tripping something inside of you. It can't be what I'm saying. And then Fridays will be probably even worse. So I've written both of them. I'll keep working on them over the next 2 days. But that'll be the end for tonight. And so I don't want to make really long videos tonight. So I'll just end it by saying God bless you, and God bless your family members, your friends, and those around you. May God turn his ear towards your prayer, and I hope you're praying every day. And I hope that God will turn and make his face shine upon you and all those around you. And may he bless your life as well as he has blessed mine. You guys, that'll end it. It's a good Thursday night vid. I appreciate these fireside chats. I appreciate how many people comment on these things. So thank you for that. And remember, if you want a badge, reach out. I will be able to put things in the mail on Friday and Saturday, and then I shut down for travel Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I'll get them in the mail Friday, and then they go in the mail from Maryland on Wednesday. So we'll have a little 5-day gap there. And that's it, you guys. Hope you had a great Thursday, a great Wednesday. Jeez. And we'll see you tomorrow night, Thursday night. Bye, everybody.